Hold on, everybody good?
Everybody good? Let's do it, man.
All right. Thank you for joining us on the New Street Podcast here today. We have a special guest, a good friend of mine, Mr. Emmanuel, aka E-Man, aka the Electric Man. He's the creator of one of YouTube's most popular electric vehicle channels called Electric Man. Paying gas is in the past. Channel predominantly focuses on Tesla's lineup of vehicles and includes build quality reviews, driving tests, tutorials, in-car interviews, and more. Thank you for joining us today, Mr. Emmanuel.
Thank you for having me.
No worries. Appreciate you taking the time and looking forward to having a chat with you about electric cars and about the future of vehicles and predominantly the Teslas. Obviously got my co-host Ryan Cooper here.
What's going on? I would say we have, above average knowledge on the Tesla, but we're hoping to learn a few things here today.
Yeah.
Okay.
We definitely got a number of questions here for you. Hopefully we can learn something for sure.
Yeah. We got two people here that own Teslas. We got Martin behind the camera, and he owns a Tesla. I'm a big fan of Tesla. Pretty much for a very long time, I've been a really big fan of Tesla and electric vehicles. As I've kind of seen the company grow and the vehicles change and improve, and that's kind of what I like about it, is that you've seen the improvement of the vehicle year by year, and the software updates, we'll get into it, but it's a vehicle that it hasn't just added that little feature and that leather seat and that little button and that little gimmicky feature.
Yeah.
It's actually done. It's improved in significant ways year over year, and so it's an interesting company. Obviously, it's grown to be the car industry's biggest company based on market cap. So it's going to be an interesting conversation. So I guess the first question for you, Emmanuel, is I know we grew up together, and I know your first car was an Audi.
Yeah.
And that was big, getting that Audi at a young age, and I mean, just kind of growing up and kind of having this vision and dream of nice cars and
Yes.
and like Lexuses and Mercedes and Audis, and just kind of having that kind of drive to obviously grow your career and be able to afford one of those luxury cars. How did you get over that concept of just a luxury fine car to making the decision to switch and buy a Tesla?
Well, at a young age, I knew by seeing a lot of other people with luxury cars that it was obtainable, that it was possible. So I knew that I always wanted a luxury vehicle.
Yeah.
And the reason why I got a Tesla, and the funny thing is, I first put my deposit in 4 years before I purchased it.
What year was that? Do you know?
So it was I think it was 2015 turning to 2016. So that was when Elon Musk did the whole introduction, and he came out with the Model 3. I fell in love with the Model 3.
That's when they announced the Model 3.
Yeah, that's when they announced the Model 3.
Okay.
I fell in love with it. The minute I saw it, I was like, yes.
Was it the price?
This is an affordable
That's it.
electric vehicle
That's it.
for the masses.
Yeah.
I like the Model S, but at its price range, it's $100,000. I just feel that it's not a good bargain
Mm-hmm.
for what you're getting,
Yeah.
for the amount of mileage. If the mileage were say 1,000 kilometers, then I could justify paying extra and getting the Model S. But right now, the difference between a long-range Model 3 and a long-range Model S
Is what?
is about maybe 100 kilometers.
Well, at one point, wasn't the
Wow.
3
Yeah.
better than that? At one point, the 3?
Oh yes,
Oh, yeah.
yes. Before they did the refresh,
Yeah.
the Model 3 the interior was completely way better than the Model S. It was like when you sat in the Model S, you felt like it was kind of dated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because due to the fact that they
Older
had,
car, yeah.
they had that screen, and the new Model 3 screen was way better. It ran a lot faster. The browser was faster. The whole system was just a lot better. And the interior is very simple. And like I when I went for a test drive, I just felt like, wow, like this Model 3 is something. Like Tesla is sitting on something here.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like,
So what was that decision maker in terms of making that purchase? Like what was like the
Was it-
definite? Was it the test drive? Just the
yeah,
feel?
Electric?
I was definitely sold on the test drive.
Yeah.
Okay.
I absolutely couldn't find anything wrong with the vehicle.
Mm.
The minute I sat in it,
Mm.
it was very nimble.
Mhm.
The handling,
Mhm.
the way it was smooth.
Mhm.
I just fell in love with the vehicle.
That's it.
Super
It was amazing.
Yeah.
super clean looking vehicles. I know you know a Tesla when you see it coming down
Yeah.
the street. I can tell from a couple miles away that a Tesla's coming down the road just how clean it looks.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm
it's-
definitely impressed with that aspect of it for sure.
Yeah, it's there's practicals or practical cars out there that get you from A to B, and they're fine. But the Tesla is a practical car, but it's kind of got luxury built into it.
That's right.
In unique ways, and we'll kind of get into that technology aspect of it in a minute. For me personally, I mean, I don't have a Tesla. I have an electric car, and I've kind of made a commitment to buy a Tesla.
Yeah.
It's just I guess just the availability and all that's kind of been, especially right now.
There's a huge backlog.
Yeah. Right now, the market price is higher than the retail price, right?
Oh, yes.
People are reselling, so
Yeah,
it's a little bit more
yeah.
difficult to get it. But for me, the commitment I have to electric cars and eventually to a Tesla once they launch the Cybertruck is really like it's I haven't driven one. I don't believe I haven't driven one. I've been inside one, but
Mhm.
it's really just the math, the calculations. Like I've done some interesting math with it, and everything from the time you spend at a gas station
Oh yes.
in your life driving a gas car. Like if you actually did the math on that time and the value of that time, right? For an example, that's just time and then the actual cost of the gas, right?
Oh, yeah.
In comparison to what
Yeah.
the electricity cost is just such like if you look at that on an annual basis and then you put that money into something and invest it well, and then that that compound interest of all that
Yeah.
is insane. So like
Yeah.
just the math of
Yeah.
owning, it's literally like if you actually do it on something like a Model 3, the car basically pays for itself
Oh yes.
in about 10 years or something along those
You should
lines.
touch on
if
what
not
we-
more, if less.
Sorry, you should touch on what we were speaking of before this. When you did the math on the month and doing the driving you were doing.
Okay, so I live in a condo. So the infrastructure for getting the charger installed in a condo
Mm.
was a little bit hard, but after going through the approval process, I think it's the best decision because it saved me so much money. I've actually spent this month about $46. And I'm driving about 150, sometimes 200 kilometers per day, going back and forth. And it's just saved me so much money. I think it's lowered my cost of living.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously.
Crazy.
And for reference, it cost me $60 to go 350 kilometers.
Oh,
So there you
How
go.
much do you pay a month?
Probably about $350 in gas.
300.
Minimum.
Yeah.
Minimum. That would be a light month. That would be
So
$300 a month.
there's actually been a new update that's recently Tesla has they dropped an update which displays how much money you actually save.
Yeah.
And it's really good because you get to know like how much money is going right back into your pocket.
It's anybody that's buying a brand new car right now. I mean, used is arguable because you can buy used cars for cheap, but new cars, you can't get a new car for less than 35,000, 40,000. No matter what you're getting, right? It's like you got to pay that much money. So anybody that's not at least putting some effort into trying to get it, because I know they're hard to get right now. So obviously timing, but it just doesn't make any sense to buy a brand new car other than an electric car, and obviously Tesla has its benefits.
Yeah, if you're thinking about buying a brand new car, you have to go electric.
You have to.
You have to go electric because
The prices just aren't holding up.
if you think about it, where is everybody headed? The world is headed in electric. And gas, sooner or later,
Is in the past.
is
There you go. That's right. That's right.
And sooner or later, like I think, what is it, 2000 by 2030?
Yeah.
The government's going to stop
Yeah.
the sales of new gas vehicles.
Yeah.
So it's better that you start to transition right now
Yeah.
than to wait later because the price is just going to go up. And like, Fat Joe says, yesterday's price is not today's price.
Yeah.
That's it.
The price is just going to keep on rising.
Yeah.
And like my car, I bought my car, and now to get the exact same spec, you're paying $13,000 more than what I paid.
Oh, wow.
Because why? There's no more EV rebate.
Okay.
The government has scratched that. You can't get that no more. And they've increased the price. So with the fact that you're not getting that $5,000 off, and they've increased the price, it's like it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
It's like you should get it before it becomes too much for you to be afforded.
Is Tesla is it an electric car company
Yeah.
or is it a technology company?
That's a big question.
I myself, I've been in Tesla, and to be honest with you, the tech for me was a little bit overwhelming at first. You know what I mean?
Yes, I strongly believe it's bigger than an electric car company. It's a
I'm the same
technology
boat.
company.
That's right. I'm in the same boat. Yeah.
Like sooner or later, they're going to be licensing their autopilot software to other car companies.
Yeah.
Well, you got to think about it. They've been manufacturing electric cars for what, 10?
Yeah,
plus?
I think
10 years plus.
over 10 years.
Now companies are committing to, they're just getting started.
Yeah,
So it's like they're a decade ahead.
So
They've gone through everything. So just and the thing, and ultimately they're fairly open with sharing and moving into that direction, right?
Yeah, Elon Musk has all Tesla's patent open for any car company, anybody that wants to see.
Yeah.
So, and there's one thing that Elon Musk has always said, he welcomes competition. And I strongly believe competition is best for the consumer. When you have these car companies competing against each other, it's just going to make it better for us.
It's going to improve every year, and 100% is going to drive the cost down because we're going to invest more into the technology to manufacture it and move it forward. So I think in terms of that question, I think definitely Tesla is a technology company, and I've always known that. Just the concept of you've never owned a car where you don't sell your car, you don't switch your car, but there's a process that happens and you pretty much get almost a new car with the software updates, right? Like,
Oh, yes.
So it's like
when I initially bought my car,
different car.
I didn't have Sentry Mode.
Yeah.
Sentry Mode didn't exist. And basically, Sentry Mode is their camera system.
Okay.
See, Tesla has about 8 different cameras all around the vehicle, and they use it for their autopilot system. But I think one day somebody asked that they use their camera system as a security system. So people would have the ability to have the footage in case they were to get in an accident, they would be able to retrieve that footage and see exactly what happened.
Right.
So Sentry Mode has been one of the best updates that Tesla has ever made because it's changed the whole system.
Yeah.
So if you were to get in an accident today, you would have footage of that accident so you can see like even 10 minutes before the accident to when the accident happened. So
Wow.
you can see what led up to the accident.
Yeah.
So that's been one of
Game-changing.
game changing. And over the holidays, they had another huge update, which they changed the whole software. They added a light show where the car does some sort of dance. They've added so many things. I think they've added like TikTok. They've added.
So user friendly. It's crazy.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
With having a software that can constantly improve. It's unbelievable. Like, I do not know where my car is gonna be a year from now. Like what it's gonna have.
It's a beautiful thing, right?
Seriously.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. Especially in comparison to a bunch of plastic buttons. You know?
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
Oh,
you know what I mean? A bunch of
So much cleaner.
plastic
Yeah.
buttons. It's crazy.
So many new companies are now adapting to what Tesla's doing. Like, Tesla has set the trend, and now a lot of companies, like if you look at Mercedes and their EQS,
Yeah.
they've made it an all glass panel.
Yeah.
Like, they went totally away with the buttons.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can see that Tesla is starting to set trends.
100%.
They have been, for sure. Let's dive into a couple of different models. Obviously, you got the Model S and Model 3. I would say, you know, almost like a luxury and economical version of that vehicle, and then the X and the Y.
Yeah.
Quick break.
I know you're on top of all the vehicles and all the VIN numbers and everything that's happening. Like, what's going on with those cars right now? Like, what's kind of the status, the availability? What's your kind
Okay,
of take on it?
so the best car right now. Okay, do you want to know the best bang for your buck or the car
Both.
that's the best?
Both.
Okay,
Both.
the car that's the best right now, I would have to say, would be the new Model S refresh.
Overall.
Because what they've been able to do with that car is unbelievable. I've sat in one recently. I was at a Tesla showroom, and I can tell you, it just felt like you were in the future. The way that they made it so simple and so elegant, and just everything that about that vehicle, it just feels like when you sit in another car, you're like, oh my god, like
different.
they should have made it. So I would definitely say S is the best vehicle, but best bang for your buck.
What's the value of the S? Give or take?
The S currently, if it starts off about for the long range about 129,000, and then you're going to the Plaid, which is about 169,000.
Crazy vehicle.
So after tax, it can hit you almost about 200 with adding specs.
Canadian.
Yeah, 200 Canadian with adding such specs as new rims,
Okay.
adding.
So it's the luxury model.
Yeah, it's the luxury model. Best bang for your buck, I would definitely have to say the Model Y.
Yeah.
Model Y.
The Model Y.
The most space.
Yeah, the most space. It solves what the Model 3 is lacking.
And I think Elon Musk said it's probably going to be the car that's going to see the biggest.
Yeah, the
you know,
biggest
you know,
sales.
It's going to be the biggest success.
Yeah,
That's
the-
why I think they're focusing on it, and that's why they've kind of taken a step back on the side of the truck.
Yeah, and so it has the most amount of room for trunk space. So if you're ever going on a road trip,
Yeah.
you can.
It's more of a family car, right?
Yeah, more of a family car. It's like a crossover SUV.
Yeah.
So that's the car that I would definitely say is the best bang for your buck. The Model 3, that car is for the masses.
Yeah.
That
Just a
car
good quality car.
is what set the trend. It's what sold me. Like, I love the Model 3, and I'm not saying that I wouldn't buy a Model 3 again, but if I were to buy a new Tesla today, it would probably be the Model Y. I definitely would have to go with the Model Y. As far as the X, I think
It's a tough sell.
that it is a tough sell, and that the Model Y is probably going to be cutting in the sales for the Model X,
100%.
because it's a little bit more pricier.
Significantly.
Yeah,
Percentage-wise, yeah.
it's almost like an extra 30,000-40,000 more than the Model Y.
Yeah.
But are you getting
Value.
an extra 30,000-40,000 worth of value for that car?
I think the strategy is smart because they were so like even with the S and the 3, and I didn't know about this super luxury new Plaid. Like,
Yeah.
I saw something, but I think that's gonna be the strategy: is take that S and that X and just do it super luxury, and just
yes.
go to 200 with it. You know, go to late, just really soup it up,
Yeah.
and then go super luxury with that,
Yeah.
and then keep the economical version. So I think that's going to be that's a good strategy.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is true, but Elon Musk has hinted that there is going to be a $25,000 US vehicle that's going to be coming out, which is a smaller version of the Model 3, and it's going to be designed in China. And it's going to be one hell of a vehicle. It's going to be a hatchback, and I think if they're able to drive down the cost of EVs, it's going to make everybody not want to get a gas.
Yeah, it's gonna be the game changer.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be the game changer. And they also have the Cybertruck, which that's been delayed. And
What's the deal with that? What's going on there? Robert's been waiting patiently.
so I know you told me. I think you told me a couple of years ago that you had a order on the Cybertruck, and with that vehicle, I think right now that it's far too advanced to produce at mass.
Yeah. And I think just, I mean, I'm sure they got a lot of demand, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that want it. It's just, I guess maybe the numbers don't add up. Like the stainless steel maybe is too expensive. It's gone up in price or something.
bulletproof.
Something, yeah. So, but it's not on the website. It's not in the main navigation of the website. I believe it was at one point. I feel like it was Cybertruck, but it's not there the other day. So
Yeah.
I guess it's still on the website if you to Google it.
Yeah.
When it's in the back end side. So I think it seems like it's a little bit on hold for now. Awesome. That's awesome. So the next thing we want to talk about, and maybe we could play a quick video,
Yeah,
is
of
I don't know if
course.
you watched the Super Bowl, but pretty epic performance.
Oh yes,
Crazy,
it was
eh?
great.
But GM launched this commercial during the Super Bowl. I don't know if you got it. Did you catch this commercial?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
I see it.
It's crazy,
A lot of the
eh?
commercials, I think like 70% of the commercials were all electric vehicles.
There was a lot of them,
commercials.
right? Yeah. There's
Yeah.
I think Ford had one, right?
Yeah.
I believe Ford had one. But I feel like this one was really powerful because it was a real. It wasn't an electric vehicle launch. It wasn't. And obviously we know that GM closed their branch in Oshawa a little while ago, which
Oh.
was huge, right? Because it's a big plant. So they closed that down, and at that point, I kind of knew something was brewing.
Mhm.
Obviously, they have the Volt, and they stopped production of the Volt, which was the gas hybrid and electric. So it felt like they were trying to focus on the Bolt, which is the full electric, and really kind of transition. But the thing with that commercial was that just the wording. Even if you pull up some of the I'll read it here, but again, when it comes to a world with zero emissions, we refuse to be number 2. So direct shot, obviously, at Tesla, and just the
Might as well
wording was
tag 'em.
so powerful. GM plans to be carbon neutral by 2040, meaning completely
Yeah.
EV. GM is committed to developing an EV for every person at every price point. Electric GMC Hummer EV, Silverado EV. So basically, they're talking about a whole line of EVs. So just just a real serious commitment to electric vehicles. And what do you think about that?
I think it's great. And
I love it. Yeah.
I welcome the competition.
Yeah.
I love it that more companies are stepping up to the plate.
Yeah.
They're seeing where the whole world is headed to,
Mhm.
and it's just going to make it better. It's going to make it better for the consumer. It's
Yeah.
going to make it better for us that we have a variety. And now that these other companies are going to be able to compete
I
for
feel-
our dollars.
I feel like everybody's been
only
tiptoeing.
gonna get better.
Everybody's been tiptoeing. Everybody's been doing the hybrid,
Yeah.
launching a little car here, just kind of like getting their feet wet. But this being, a company-wide commitment is really interesting because it's basically saying, we're transitioning.
It's gonna push the
Done.
envelope. It's only gonna
Oh.
get better from here.
Oh yes, oh yes. I think that they're definitely headed in the right direction.
Yeah. Love it. And
I actually seen the Hummer EV,
Yep.
and what they're doing with that is, I think it has a solid state battery, which is about 250 kilowatts.
Mm.
And to put into consideration what Tesla's using, they're using about 100 kilowatts. So
Oh, wow.
for the Hummer EV, it's a whole lot of battery.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why they're using such a big battery is due to the size of the vehicle, the amount of weight that it's going to be carrying. And I'm just so excited. I'm so excited to test drive that car.
Yeah.
I want to review that car.
Yeah.
I want to test drive it. I want to get myself in that.
Listen,
And I definitely
we're
want
gonna we're gonna definitely tag GM on Alliance Post and please hit up the Electric Man and let him do some testing, some driving, some promo for the new vehicle when they come out. I think that's amazing.
Yeah. And you know what? I love Tesla, but I think that they're their biggest threat right now.
Okay. I want to hear more on that for sure.
Because on my channel, I focus on a lot of what I'm doing right now is quality checks.
I've seen that. Yeah.
So what I'll do is I will check the quality of each vehicle, and I'll check for panel gaps, I'll check for misalignments, and I'll check for things that the average person wouldn't see, because it's my goal to advise the new buyer what to look for. And the one thing that I would say about Tesla is that they're focusing on quantity
Production.
versus quality.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
And I think that they shouldn't want to just please shareholders by just getting as much cars out there. They need to start focusing on quality. Because I tell you, I've seen stuff on Teslas that you would never see on any other vehicle.
Yeah.
It's a lot of it panel related because I see you physically go over the cars with your thumb,
Yes.
handles and all.
Yes. And so what I do is I've basically developed a way that you can easily tell if the panels are flush or not.
Yep.
And that's if you rub one finger from one door panel to the other panel. This will tell you just by your hand and the way you feel it if it's flush or not.
See, the question is, I'm waiting for the Cybertruck, and now the question is, me as a consumer,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it's 2023, 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do I want to get it in 2023 with that little bit of a gap? Or do I want to wait till fucking 2025 and to get that quality?
is it
right?
getting
That's
any
the question.
better?
And so,
Okay.
you know, it's like it's
To
a
be
tough
honest with
balance.
you-
You know, I would take it in 2023 with the gap.
Well,
to be honest-
we're gonna find out. There's some pretty bad gaps though. If you've seen, there's
To
some
be
bad
honest,
What kind of
gaps.
gaps we talking about? 1/8?
It's bad.
Quarter?
It's bad.
Sometimes you
Like,
fit your finger.
There's times where he doesn't even have to put his thumb on it because he can tell like it's already that bad.
You put the thumb in.
I watched it. I
And
watched
I
it.
would say, I know you got your order, your hands on an order, but don't get the first generation.
There we go.
Don't get the first generation of anything. I put an order in for my vehicle, but I didn't get it until 3 or 4 years later. That's when I pulled the trigger because I didn't want to get the first generation.
For me, the
As
first,
with any vehicle.
Yeah,
You know what
as
I
with any
mean?
vehicle.
This is such a big step.
Yeah.
Totally
for me,
makes
the
sense.
first generation was 10, 15 years ago. That was the first generation. I'm good with the first generation of the Cybertruck. I'm okay.
That leads to the question though.
Yeah.
Is it getting any better?
Okay,
Yeah.
I definitely say that they're still having issues with panel gaps. I did a quality check the other day, and all 3 vehicles failed. And I'm going to be honest with you, I was completely upset that we're paying so much for a vehicle. Because right now, it was the Model Y that I was looking at.
Okay.
And I looked at 3 different Model Ys, and I was actually looking at the Performance Edition. And the Performance is actually the most priciest version out of all 3. And for the Performance Edition, I found that it had panel gaps, it had misaligned doors. It was disgusting. I was like, wow, Tesla, like, how do you expect somebody to spend close to $100,000 and you're having these issues? And that's the issue right now is their quality. Their quality, and I think that's their biggest threat right now is themselves. Like, they're so focused on improving their margins, satisfying the shareholders, that they're not looking at
The little things.
the little things that, you know, that would make people that are on the fence say, oh, I'm not getting that car.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I've had many people on my comments say, I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna pull the trigger. I'm still on the fence because of their little issues. And I think that they need to hire a quality specialist. And you know what the funny thing is? When I was doing one of my videos, when I was doing one of my videos, one of their employees came out, and I was actually thinking that he was actually going to kick me out. You know what he offered? What he offered me? He offered me a job at Tesla. And I was like, what? He's like, because I had pointed out some of the issues, and he's like, you know what? You should apply for a job being a quality specialist. And I'm like, come on, man. Somebody over here should be doing it.
Yeah.
Like
Already though.
Like already, you know, like and
Bro, you should train the staff.
What the heck?
You should do a training program for them, honestly.
so but what I'm gonna say is the problem stems from the Fremont factory. Tesla has already solved the problem. The China Shanghai factory is actually producing the best vehicle.
You even said that in
Yeah,
the video. You would take one from China.
I would rather take one from China because they have a higher quality.
That's right.
For when the car leaves out of the China factory, there's somebody that goes through the vehicle, checks it out. But I think at the Fremont factory,
Not happening.
they just let it go, and they rely on the buyer to find it out. And it's like, and I think what the problem is the fact that they made the Fremont factory first. And when they made the Fremont factory first, they were using older machines.
Okay.
So it wasn't the latest and the greatest. So Shanghai, they've improved that. And I'm sure with Giga Berlin and Giga Texas, the panel gap issue should be solved.
Mm-hmm.
I think what I'm noticing is the cars that are coming out of the Fremont factory are the ones that are having the issues. And I'm hoping that they eventually stop the production line in Fremont, even though they have such a huge backlog.
Mm-hmm.
I think what they should do is stop the Fremont factory, replace the machines that are making these horrible panel gaps and causing these problems, and they should replace it with newer, updated machines like they have in Giga Shanghai, like they have in Giga Berlin, and like they have in Giga Texas.
Yeah. I mean, it's an opportunity for the other car manufacturers to step up.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they've been doing it for so long. They obviously have resources and companies they work with, as you know, that manufacture different things. So I'm sure that GM will be producing some high quality cars.
I got one more question for him though.
Okay.
I understand that it extends further than just the body panels.
Oh,
I
yeah.
understand there's white color. Is it model? I can't remember which model.
It's the Model
paint
3.
defects.
So there's actually right now, if you're getting a 2022, and this problem has stemmed from 2021, but it's fallen into 2022, is that if you look on the right side trunk panel on the passenger side, you're actually going to see a paint defect. Many of you might not catch it, but due to the fact that I've been able to see thousands and thousands of Model 3s, Model X's, Model Ys, that I look for everything.
Yeah.
So they need to get their hands on this paint imperfection, because I know right now if I'm paying that much for a vehicle, I expect it to be in perfect condition. I don't want no paint mismatch. I don't want no scratches. I don't want no panel gaps. I don't want no paint defects on my
Of course.
close to $70,000 vehicle.
Of course. Yeah.
Like, if you look at the production of a Mercedes, even a Honda, even a Toyota,
Yeah.
it's far superior than Tesla.
Yeah. So it's quality.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
the one
quality
thing.
seems to be
Back to the
their-
quality control.
their number one issue.
Well, ultimately, like it's they're selling such, they've invested so much into technology. They've invested so much into these features that no other car has.
Yeah.
Something's gotta give.
I guess something's got to give.
Yeah.
You're sacrificing the panel gap for the Century. You know what I mean? It's like
Yes.
it's a little bit of a balance, but
Most of them aren't too bad.
Yeah.
But there are some that are like, okay, it's super obvious on
Yeah.
this one.
So, and that's another thing, that a lot of buyers, they have that excitement during delivery day
Oh yeah.
that they tend not to catch
I'm just putting it out there right now.
these defects.
If somebody from Tesla is listening to this or watching this, I will take a Cybertruck with some gaps.
No problem.
As long as you give it to me,
chips, that's okay.
Paint, like I mean, stainless steel, so it's like I don't have to worry about paint.
I know you're sold.
Just put me first in line, and I'm good to go. In terms of other manufacturers, though, market cap, obviously Tesla is
Trumps.
at the top with
Yeah.
as of a couple days ago.
By quite a bit.
Recently, yeah,
By quite a bit.
significant,
They're
more than
a
double,
$1 trillion company.
pretty much.
By
pretty much,
quite a
almost,
bit.
Are
almost,
they
almost.
overhyped? Yes. Are they overvalued? Yes.
Yeah,
But by 2030, no.
yeah.
You know, but right now, I would say that they are. I don't think they should be worth more than an Audi, Mercedes, Toyota combined.
But I do,
You know?
I think they do have a few different products that a lot of car manufacturers don't have that aren't really car, like the solar, the panels.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And it's also so they are so they have a lot of different, and I know they're working on a lot of different things probably. So
Yeah.
I guess the valuation makes sense. But in terms of car makers, we got Toyota number 2 right now in terms of market cap. Volkswagen, BYD, Daimler, General Motors is
Mhm.
there. Who do you see? Obviously, it's exciting news what GM has announced. Is there anybody that Honda's down at the bottom there?
Yeah.
Hyundai's at the very bottom. Neo
Yeah.
is there somewhere. Ferrari's there in the top. Call it 15.
Yeah.
Is there somebody?
You're looking out for?
Is there somebody you think that's gonna really? I think.
So I think, and I'm really excited about these two car companies out in China right now. They've just started to tap into the European market, and that's Neo and X-Men.
Okay. Neo's on there, but
Yeah.
I don't believe so.
Neo's definitely has a lot of potential, and they have a huge fan base.
Yeah.
They have a loyal fan base, and they're doing something similar to what Tesla's doing.
Okay.
But the thing about Neo is that they built a battery swap infrastructure. So you no longer have to wait 30 minutes to charge on a supercharger. You can swap the batteries
You're gone.
in 3 minutes. So imagine the potential.
So you essentially could buy a car without a battery, or like, what do you mean? So you.
Okay, so what Neo offers, they offer a subscription
They
service.
have a network with a
Yes, they offer
subscription.
a subscription.
Whoa.
You can even buy the car without the battery,
Yeah.
pay for just the car, and subscribe to their battery infrastructure system. Pay just a monthly cost,
Yeah.
and you'll be able to not have battery degradation. And that's something we never even talked about.
That's true.
Is battery degradation.
Yep.
There's one thing that China has over the US market is the ability to build batteries at a low cost.
Huge.
So right now, there's a $5,000 electric vehicle in China. Can you believe it? It's $5,000.
Yeah.
And if you think about the margins there, like how much are they actually paying to produce that car? Mind you, you're only getting 100 miles on that car. It's actually a
Not bad.
small car, but
Not bad.
if you think about it, having a $5,000 car, like
Yeah.
that, it's just unbelievable. So I definitely, and BYD, yeah, BYD definitely has a huge potential. And I heard that in China they have over 100 different EV companies out there.
I would believe it. I mean,
Yeah.
just looking at the last company you just mentioned, sort of based on looks, the
Yeah.
similarities are like
I really
there's so
like,
many similarities just based on looks.
I really
yeah.
like the Neo cars. I think the big thing right now
Yeah.
that I feel like is important in the EV market is cubic footage in the vehicle on EV. You can't
Yeah.
get a lot of cubic footage right now
Yeah.
in an EV. So I know Neo has one.
Yeah.
It's fairly large, and obviously the Cybertruck's coming. So
Yeah, a lot of the companies right now they're starting off with the SUVs, and then they're moving into other vehicles, and I think the market is going to be great. I think that
love it.
as more and more people get a glimpse to what it feels to drive an electric vehicle, the fact that you never ever have to go to the gas station.
Yeah. And then the second biggest thing for me was just the fumes.
Oh yes,
Fumes.
no more
The
toxic fumes.
Yeah,
You know
the
how many
fumes.
people have passed away by having a gas car in their garage
Too
and
much.
Well, yeah.
and
Oh yeah.
like carbon monoxide and
Well, there's a code in the Ontario building bylaw that states you got to have a certain type of door in between your garage and your house just because of that. Like, and I don't know if that's going to change
Yeah.
eventually if electric cars are the standard, but I would assume.
yeah,
So,
electric vehicles, they're definitely the future.
Yeah,
And
100%.
I will never purchase a gas vehicle unless it's a Lamborghini.
so yeah.
Unless
Yeah.
it's a supercar.
I think there's a good case for those.
100%.
Yeah, we do have dreams. Like,
Well, like
I
your
definitely
daily
have
dr-
dreams
yeah.
to get a Lamborghini.
Hundred
Like,
percent.
Yeah,
and
that makes sense.
and the fact that it offers you that sound and that roar,
Yeah.
and I think that's why everybody's on the fence that they don't get that rumble,
Yeah.
and that gas feeling, and I understand, but do I want to pay $100 every time I press the gas pedal, or
Yeah.
do I?
You're right.
Do I
From a
wanna-
numbers perspective, there
Yeah.
is no case.
Oh yes, if you're looking at the Plaid right now.
Crazy.
It's the fastest production vehicle right now for under $200,000.
It's crazy.
For what you're getting, it's unbelievable. It has 1.9 seconds, 0 to 60. Like, can you believe that? Like,
Jeez.
and I can't wait to test drive a Plaid. I'm waiting because I want to feel that rush. I've test driven a P100D, and that's the model that's before the Plaid. But I haven't experienced the Plaid, the 1.9 acceleration. That's going to be a whole nother level. Like,
Crazy.
you're not going to be able to beat it. And if you think about it, it's faster than a Bugatti.
Actually, well, I was just about to get to that. There's actually a YouTube channel called Hoonigan.
Yeah.
They have a this versus that,
Mm-hmm.
and they do twin turbo Lamborghini versus the Plaid. And
Yeah.
The Plaid smokes
Smokes.
everything. It's not even close.
Jeez.
Like gets it off the jump and in the top end, not even close.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's a game changer. It's
Yeah.
a game changer for what you're getting versus the cost you're spending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. The Electric Man. Maybe. What's next for the channel?
Exactly. That's what we were.
What's next for the channel? Well, I've recently bought some new camera equipment.
Okay.
So the quality is going to be getting better. I'm going to be shooting 4K. I got new microphones. I'm just investing all my YouTube income into buying better equipment so I can produce a better channel.
So,
Later on, I want it to become like an electric car channel where
Like reviews,
yeah,
test drives.
reviews, test drives, and I wanna go after a lot of other companies. Right now, I'm really focusing on Tesla because I'm personally invested in Tesla.
Yeah.
So I
you're,
I
you're,
wanted to.
you're a
I
stakeholder.
wanted to, yeah, I'm a shareholder.
Full disclosure.
And I'm not biased to the company, but I just want to help Tesla improve. Like the reason why I do quality checks for Tesla is that I want to help Tesla become a better company, because you can never know the problem unless somebody points out the problem.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Till I
You
started
know-
doing the research on your channel, I had no idea that they had issues like
Yeah, because
Not even.
that's why I keep it non-biased. Even though I'm a shareholder, even though I have my personal hard-earned money invested in the company,
Yeah.
I'm willing to point out their errors because I'm hoping that somebody over at the Tesla factory sees one of my videos and says, okay, we need to fix that issue.
Yeah.
We need to fix that issue because, you know,
We need. Yeah.
they're really not gonna understand unless we hit them where their pockets. We stop accepting these vehicles. We refuse deliveries, and we really like stop wanting these vehicles. But there's so much demand that
Yeah.
a lot of people are just willing to overlook
Yeah.
their problems.
You even say on your channel,
Yeah.
say bring your notepad, bring your phone, So that way you can point out this stuff and it's obvious and
Yes.
people know, right?
Yes, because my goal is to advise new buyers what to look out for.
Yep. Because you're right, man. I sold cars for a long time. When
Yeah.
people come to pick up their car,
Mhm.
they're super excited. There's so many things.
Yeah, there's so many things, and that's why I also advise you, if you're buying a new vehicle, bring your family, bring one of your friends, ask them.
Different set of eyes.
A different set of eyes will give you a different perspective on the vehicle, and obviously because they're not buying it, they'll be able to look at it for what it is.
Yeah.
Yep. 100%.
That's good advice. Good advice. Listen, you've done a great job with your channel, man. I'm so happy for you, and definitely an inspiration. So congrats.
Oh, thank you.
And just keep banging out the videos, man.
Oh, thank you, and I will continue. I hope we can have another episode of this
course.
podcast.
Let's continue the conversation. For
I've
sure.
learned so much already
Yeah.
as it is. Just
Oh yes, I'm willing to come back. Me and you are childhood friends, so
That's it.
anything you need, I'm here for you.
We'll do the GM episode. We'll do the
the Cybertruck, when we get more information on that, we'll
Oh
do
yes, oh yes.
100%.
that.
And spoiler alert: there's actually been drone footage. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
No.
Stuff, yeah.
Of the Cybertruck. They made some modifications.
Okay.
I think right now they're trying to decide whether to use for the windshield, whether to use one windshield wiper or one or two windshield wiper. I think they're going with one big one.
Yeah.
But I'm unsure if Elon Musk is going to approve it, and the tires, they changed the tires on it. So I think when the Cybertruck comes out, it's going to look a little bit different than what they initially showed at their presentation.
For sure.
So I'm excited. I'm actually gonna order. I'm gonna order one. I'm gonna order a Cybertruck because I love it. I love it. The fact that it's bulletproof, like,
Unreal.
wow.
Or at least it will be.
I hope. And I want to know, is the glass bulletproof?
Hopefully it will be.
I don't know. He broke through it pretty easy in that presentation.
That was a.
It's okay. It's okay. You know.
It happens, man. It
Yeah.
happens.
You know.
Yeah, and you know what, I love the company, Elon Musk. He's, obviously the richest person in the world.
Visionary.
Like,
honestly.
had we known, we should have invested all our money into the Tesla.
Hey, we were doing stuff online when PayPal was just formed.
Oh yeah,
And you know what I mean.
before
So
Google.
That's it, right? So
Yeah.
so he's been working away,
Yeah.
and no, it's definitely a real inspiration.
Oh yes. Like, when I look at him today, with all the companies that he's managing, it just makes you feel like you have to do more. Like you're not doing enough.
You're not doing
Put
enough.
in 40 hours? No. Don't put in 100 hours like he's doing.
my man sending cars to the moon.
Yeah.
And you're just sitting there like.
Yeah, you're just sitting there like,
A different level.
looking at 9 to 5, like, what am I doing with my
A
life?
different level, man. Different
Yeah.
level.
Like, he has the Neuralink, he has SpaceX, he has Starlink, which is putting internet all around the world.
Mhm.
Like, wow. And he has Tesla. Wow. And to be running all those companies at the same time,
It's too.
like,
That's
that's
crazy.
just
Yeah.
mind-blowing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So, like, kudos to Elon Musk for just inspiring us to do better.
Yeah.
Like, I hope I can do an inch of what he's doing.
That's it. Yeah. For sure.
What he's been able to accomplish is unbelievable.
It has been.
Beautiful.
Okay, man. Thank you for joining us here on the New Street Podcast, man. It's been a great chat,
Yeah, appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
and we'll check out and we'll have you back for another episode for sure, man. Thank you. Appreciate
All
the time.
right.
All right, brother.
Take care. And if you guys want to subscribe to The Electric Man, why don't you go over to YouTube and type in The Electric Man, and you should be able to find it.
We're gonna put up a direct link throughout the video, so we'll
Okay.
promo it hard.
They'll know where you're at for sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
100%.
thank you. I really appreciate you guys inviting me and having me over here.